All right. Today we're going to talk about one of the saddest documentary slash celebrity stories I have ever seen, and that is Pamela, a love story. My goodness. Okay, so it started off pretty regular, pretty wholesome. I had no idea Pamela Anderson was from British Columbia, like a little tiny island. I think it's called Ladysmith. But, you know, white people be from some random places. Blacks, we usually live in metropolitan, well-known areas where it is generally more safe for us. I'm saying generally because the police still, fuck us up. But generally, like, we're not going to be the only black person out on Ladysmith with Pamela Anderson and her family, although they may be nice. So whatever. She goes to a hockey game, football game, something, and she's wearing a Labatt's Blues on t-shirt with her and her friends. And Pamela has always been a fine, blonde, white girl. So they end up putting the camera on them and they on a Jumbotron. And then boom, now she the Blues on girl. And she's popping and she's like locally famous. She already had a little body on her, all that. And then she gets to be in the commercial. She started doing ads. And then I guess because of those ads, the lady from Playboy reached out to her. And she ends up being on Playboy for the first time, 1989. And it's like, it's tame compared to what people are showing now. Compared to OnlyFans girls, it's very, very tame. But this was way before that time, so I'm sure it was considered scandalous. Her family didn't really have a problem with it. Her mom was like, yellow girl, live. Like, you're young, you're beautiful, make it pop. She comes out to California. Because she is a Canadian, they weren't just letting her come over here so easily. And when she went to the airport, they asked her what she was coming out here for. She told them to pose her Playboy, and they was like, you don't got no work visa, you can't work. First of all, I hate her. So then she tried to go to another airline. The same lady was there. So she ended up getting on a Greyhound bus from Canada to Seattle. So she snuck into the country. Pamela Anderson was a legal alien. She snuck in. She ends up getting to LA. She shoots for Playboy. It's amazing. It goes well. And it catapults her to stardom in that realm though, because it's still like you are a sex symbol. You're not an actress, you're not a singer, you're just hot, and people have seen you various parts of your body, in the nude. Another sad thing that happened to Pam, I think during the time when her parents were like going through their own tumultuous relationship, is that she was with a friend and she decided to go with her to a townhouse, like she wanted to hang out with this boy. Pam is only 12 at the time. I do not remember how old she said her friend was, but anyways, it was like basically their friend's like boyfriend's house that they went to. And so her friend, they get there, everything is chilled, and her friend goes in the room with her boyfriend, and Pam is left outside with his friend. And this man allegedly rapes Pam. She's trying to fight him off. She's yelling and screaming. She's 12 years old. This man is 25, but he doesn't care. And it's very painful for her. It's very uncomfortable. If any of you can recall, like, you losing your virginity, it's not the most glamorous situation, and then it's forced, so it's even more brutal for her. She then is like feeling, I'm sure, ignored and abandoned by her friends. She goes to the bathroom and cleans herself up, and then she just talks about how shameful she felt all the time. Like, she just felt like she had it plastered on her forehead that I had sex, and everybody knew, and she felt dirty, and she didn't want to feel like that. So then when she gets to go and finally shoot for Playboy, it was like she was super, super shy and nervous, but it kind of helped her burst out of her shell a little bit and take more ownership and control over her body. In a way, she felt liberated, so it was like the perfect medicine for her. I'm sure a lot of people that are traumatized by sexual abuse cope in various ways. Like, certain people that I know that have dealt with sexual abuse, unfortunately, turned in that, especially like young, when you don't want to tell anyone stage, it turns into promiscuity, right? Like, oh, I was forced to have sex, and now I'm going to have sex on my terms. I'm going to do who I want, and blah, blah, blah. So Pam's was kind of the opposite. With the magazine, made her feel really liberated and really open to like sex, being sexy, being seen as attractive, because she did not like her body and she did not feel attractive. But I'm sure that same situation and how she gained her confidence was also an easy way for her to be broken down by men, or to be like slut shamed by men. So it was like a double-edged sword. Pamela, however, starts dating around because, again, she was young and hot. She's dating Scott Baio for a minute. Scott Baio hate her. Okay, he told her, because she was driving around in a guy that liked her, a guy that she was dating, Benz, and Scott Baio told her that she needed to buy a Hyundai. He was gonna sell her a Hyundai, or his daddy was gonna sell her a Hyundai, because like that's the car she needed to drive. That was appropriate for her. Like, nigga, if you don't miss me with that, who are you? Who do you think that you are? You're not even that fine, Scott Baio. Try this with some of your other hoes, not me. But Pamela, young, sweet, I guess she going for it. Then she is like dating. Let me see. Okay, because Pamela had a lot going on. But she's just in the whirlwind of dating these people, going out, being fine, being hot. Oh, and then when she first goes to the Playboy Mansion, of course she is captivated, because if you have never seen the Playboy Mansion, pause this, Google it, come back. It's like a castle. And it's in a very nice neighborhood in Los Angeles. So she is enraptured by that. And I assume that's where she's meeting a lot of these guys at, because Playboy is notorious for their parties with a bunch of just young hot girls and eligible, or maybe not single, but just bachelors, men out around. So yeah, when she first gets to LA, she is dating Mr. Scott Baio, or that's like the famous person. He was on Happy Days. Again, like, just a stupid ass show. Scott Baio, you're not that tight to be acting like this, to be ridiculing people. Then she starts dating Bret Michaels. And I only know Bret Michaels from Rock of Love. So I don't know him from when he was popping or he was hot outside. He does not appear to ever been hot to me. I don't like men with hair. But Pamela was into it. And this was her first like rock and roll relationships. Then she's dating some people I don't know. Finally, she had a boyfriend, like an on and off boyfriend. He was cool. He was a nice guy. She goes to Mexico for a Playboy shoot. And Tommy Lee is like on her bumper. He saw her out. He was trying to talk to her. He's trying to call her. She wasn't having it. She was not trying to meet up with him. She used to dodge his calls. And then one day she thought it was her agent or something. She picks up the phone and it's Tommy Lee. And she's like, oh no, I can't hang out with you. Like, I'm going to, let's just say, Cabo. And he was like, oh, okay, I'll be there. And she's like, no, you can't come. Like, this is for work. He was like, it's okay. Like, I'll find you. Stalker energy. Okay. Now, a lot of girls these days talk about applying pressure, this, and that. But that might be too far. I don't know. You let me know in the comments if you think it's attractive for a man to follow you after you telling him like, no. Or you think that's the type of pressure you need to apply when you're trying to date somebody hot and, you know, on the scene like Pamela Anderson. So Tommy Lee, this is like in February 1995. Tommy Lee goes out there. He does end up finding her. They pull up. Pamela's not having it. She's like, we're working, blah, blah, blah. But on the last day or second to last day, she's like, why not? What do we got to lose? Like, we might as well hang out with these guys. So boom, they go hang out with Tommy and his homeboys. They're enraptured with each other, like they fall in love. She keeps calling it love at first sight, love at first sight, love at first sight. After knowing each other for maybe 4 days, hanging out for 4 days, they get married in Mexico. Like, they just stayed out there. They was chilling. It was some random people that they met at the club at their wedding. I think at the club, when they went out that night, it was the first time Pamela had ever tried ecstasy. And she's just feeling herself, feeling the glow. You know, like in the movies, in the white girl movies, they be in the club and it's just glitter and smoke. And they're dancing, they're touching their bodies. That's what Pamela was going on. And she just fell in love with Tommy Lee. Maybe it was real love. Maybe it was the drugs. We may never know. She ends up getting a tattoo of his name on her ring finger. She was really about it. She was dedicated. They're married, but I don't know. Like, I had no idea that this was Tommy Lee's third marriage. She didn't talk about that at all. But they're happy. They're living. You know, wherever they come back to LA, they get back to their lives. Pamela ends up pregnant. And it's like a year later, pretty much. Like, she probably got pregnant either right in Mexico or right when they got back. So anyways, they have their first baby, Brandon, and then they are having their house renovated. They got a bunch of workers at their house, whatever, but they have this safe and they got guns, the bikini Pamela got married in, they got married on the beach. Just random stuff, memories, and they used to record everything. Like, this is the video camera era. And I really feel for her because as a child that was growing up in this time, I do remember my family members, like my grandma, my grandpa, my mom specifically, always had a video camera or a camcorder back then hooked to their hand. Like, they were recording every single moment of my life. Oh, she's doing this. Oh, she's doing that. Oh, it's a holiday. Oh, we're recording. Very similar also to the Kardashians. That's how they have all those archives of their life and their childhood, because the camcorder was a hot thing back then. You want to document your life, you go get a camcorder, you get the tapes, you got the tapes flowing. So they're recording everything and they're having like this whirlwind romance. So why wouldn't you record? Anyways, they got a bunch of tapes in there The safe comes up stolen. Not things out of the safe, but the whole entire safe. They don't even know who took it because there was so many people on the property. I feel like that was a high level of negligence on their part. You know, you got strangers in your house. You know that both of you are famous. Not one of you is famous. Why wasn't that safe moved? Why wasn't it more protected? Why? Just a lot of whys. But Providence, what can you do? Hindsight is 2020. Comes up missing. A poor man. Now, this is a very loose narrative of the documentary. You can still go watch it to get the details. This guy that is running like a porn empire, he ends up calling them like, hey, we got this tape. I'm offering you $5 million. And Pam was like, what? Hell no. Like, I don't want that out. Like, this is illegal because you stole it. Like, we didn't sell it to you. We're not selling it to you. I don't want no money for it. Like, it just should not come out. Doesn't go well. Tape comes out. People are selling it. People are seeing. People are talking about it. So much so to where Pamela ends up going to court over it. Her and Tommy. They're trying to sue. They're trying to do something. Doesn't work out. During this time, it just heightens their already like crazy in love situation. They're going out her first night out after she had the baby. They go to the Viper Room, a very poppin' club in Hollywood, formerly owned by Johnny Depp. I don't know who owns it now. Allegedly, it's about to get closed, which is sad because I like the Viper Room. It's cute. It's a vibe. They got bands there. They have rappers there sometimes. Hollywood, institution, Viper Room. So they're going to the Viper Room, her and Tommy. Tommy, I feel like, is faded. I feel like he's faded most of the time. I don't want to judge Tommy Lee. He seems like a decent man. But during this documentary and the antics and things that was going on, I'm going to give him a solid 75% of the time this man is faded. Off of whatever substances, off of whatever drinks. He just not fully himself. So they're coming out the Viper Room. Of course, there's paparazzi, all that. They're attacking them. They're like asking a bunch of rude questions. Oh, where's your baby? Oh, you're a bad mom. And Pamela's going off too because maybe she a little faded. It's her first night out. It's been a few weeks. And she's like, with my mother, I'll kill you. Tommy is not a small man. So he starts pushing people. Pushing, throwing, slamming, whatever. They probably get sued because of that. They're going back to court. It's eating up money. It's eating up time. They're not really getting anywhere with the court case because, and I did not think about it from this angle, but again, hindsight is 2020, man. And of course, this is a jury case. So the whole jury knows you and your husband and what you're famous for. He's a rock star and you are essentially a OnlyFans girl of the 90s. Like, you get paid to be naked. You seem like you like it too. You're in Playboy all these times. Like, that's your only job. So this girl is in court just devastated because they're like, how can we feel bad for you or feel like this sex tape should not be out? This is what y'all do. Like, this is who you are. Sad. So eventually she gives up the case. And then she's pregnant again with her second baby, Dylan. And it's just like, we might as well drop this case. Like, it's too much going on. We're not going to win. Blah, blah, blah. She should have took the $5 million, but she didn't do it. Her oldest son, Brandon, is like happy and proud that she didn't take the money. He's like, she really just went out of her way to try and protect me, to protect her family. She wasn't this money hungry, thirsty, like fame whore type of person. Dylan is like, look, it already happened. We both got bullied. We both have to deal with the shit. Like, you should have got the money because we would have been better off. Everybody would have been better off. I get both perspectives. I really understand it. I am on the side of Dylan though, because after they closed down the court case, Pamela too is kind of naive, and I feel like she should have had better help or better people around her, but it was just too much chaos. After she signs whatever to end the court case, the tape is basically free game. So the same people that offered you that money, now they can sell it to whoever they want to sell it to, and it ends up on the internet, the World Wide Web. So much so that websites and stuff are crashing and the internet servers are breaking down because people are getting onto the internet for the first time to watch this Pamela and Tommy Lee tape. I remember that being a huge deal when I was a kid. It was all people talked about for like months. Oh, Pam and Tommy Lee, Pam and Tommy Lee. I haven't seen the tape. Like she said in her documentary, every single late night show, all the comedians, it was just constant jokes about her all the time. Like, people was ragging on Trump when he was president. That's how they did Pamela. It was pretty crazy. And kind of more like, I don't know, looking back on it, it seems like a lot of those guys were just hating and jealous because they know that they would never have a chance with her. So it was like, oh, like, we can demean her and we can say these things because, like, she's just a stupid slut. It seemed a lot like that. Like, Jay Leno constantly picking on her and constantly having things to say and then having her on the show and trying to play dumb about it. It's like, you like me, bro? Like, you could just be nice. You could send flowers. You could send a gift. You don't got to talk shit about me every night on your show to get my attention and then have me pull up here and act nice like I don't know what you be saying. Like, everybody doesn't hear. Like, everybody doesn't see. That was crazy to me. And a lot of people did that. My heart really goes out to Pamela during that era. So the tape is now really, really everywhere. And like she says, it ends up hurting her way more so than it hurts Tommy, because it goes with Tommy's image and it kind of just boosts his character and boosts his profile. He's a crazy rock star. Oh, he's married to this like Playboy model, and now their tape is out, and oh my God, you know? But for her, it's now you are, especially in the 90s. Like Monica, the singer Monica, talks about how she couldn't really show her tattoos and different things like that. She couldn't really be herself. We saw Brandy go through everything about like not wanting to say that she was pregnant out of wedlock and all of these things. You see Beyonce had to be super duper wholesome. Like we just did not as a society really accept that sort of thing. So Pamela is immediately typecast in real life and for work as a bimbo. She does get the Baywatch gig, which is a big deal, which is important. And that helps her a lot, I think, like cement her spot in pop culture, have her own money, have a certain level of security and notoriety outside of the Playboy thing. Because like, I, of course, would never know about Pamela Anderson being in Playboy. I just knew her from Baywatch growing up. She was like the pretty girl on Baywatch. She was hot. Everybody wanted to look like that. And then it became the fake boob thing, which was very, very sad to watch too. Because you don't think about that as a quote unquote normal person, but all people did was talk about Pamela Anderson's body all the time, like almost on a creepy level. Like as soon as she sits down, like you're looking at her chest and you keep making reference to it and all that. And if she said it, like for example, if I go on Jay Leno, if I go on Conan O'Brien and I say like, oh, these are fake boobs, if I'm in a magazine, oh, these are fake boobs, yeah, no big deal. Thousands of other women got fake boobs, especially in California. Even back then, fake boobs. Just like how she found out about it at the Playboy Mansion or whatever, they're a bunch of hot girls around, and Pam is like just kind of ruminating over this, like, dang, everybody's so beautiful, everybody's so, and the lady was like, you know, they all had work done. Oh, it was the lady Hef was married to at the time, and she's like, for real, like sign me up, we'll work. So they go get it. So she's not at all a pioneer with it. She's not at all the first person to have fake boobs and be in the public eye. Yet and still, every single time she sits down and goes somewhere, y'all want to bring up the boobs. It is creepy. And it's men doing it too. So it has to feel odd. It has to feel predatory for her. Like, what are you getting at? And if you like me, this is not the way to go about it. I also feel like her being typecast in real life and in TV and film in her career as a sex pot, sex kitten type of person very, very greatly harmed her dating and her potential and all of that in that regard. Because now, even the men that are coming at you, they're coming at you with a certain theory in their mind. And we all know men are visual, and men probably clout chase more than women. Like they're coming at you because you are the Pamela Anderson and all that comes with that. They're like fanboying. They're not really interested in the real Pam and who she is, and that she's really just like a country girl from a small town, like an island in British Columbia, and she likes the simple things. And like everything about this documentary made more sense of her life and the things that I've seen about Pamela over the years, like her Cribs episode when she had that little cottage thing, and then later on when she lived in this like fancy trailer park. All of that made more sense because it's like she's really just a down home girl. That's why she be falling in love with these rock star, like, I don't want to say white trash, but esque, you know, white trash adjacent individuals, because like that's where she come from. Like she, you know, she talks about too her troubled childhood. Like her dad was an alcoholic, and that caused a lot of problems with her parents' marriage and their childhood. Like they left their dad a handful of times, and they would go back. Mom and dad still in love. And her mom would try to tell her though, like, you don't have to put up with this. Like, I'm sorry I set a bad example for you, but I really love your dad. Your dad really loves me. These guys don't love you like that. Like, if some shit happens, like, leave, get out of there. Don't deal with this. What I put up with is different. Like, don't do that. At least her mom had the courtesy to say that, but still, you kind of repeat what you see, not really what your parents say in a way, you know? And I feel like in certain situations, certain kind of men, they can like smell that on a person, you know? They know who to go after, like a real predator type of man. And then allegedly, Tommy Lee was abusive to her after the fact, like when they were married during their relationship, whatever. She doesn't really go into that a lot in detail. She just talks about one time after the second baby is born, Dylan, and he's basically like fresh out. And they're at home, and now they have 2 young children because they're very, very close together. Yeah, they're born a year apart. So they was in there making it happen, popping the babies out. And having one child and adjusting to that is already a big deal. And children often do ruin relationships, especially a marriage, because they change the whole dynamic. And they were just on this whirlwind. They were having fun. They were partying. They were both like living this rock and roll life. And now you got a baby and you got to slow it down. You have the court case going on. You are hounded by paparazzi all the time. even when you're pregnant, they're trying to like get a shot of this new baby and all of that. And it's surely grinding on the nerves, grating on your situation, just making it even more like kind of intolerable, making it very, very high stress. So then Tommy too, okay, he's faded. He has his ego, his rock starness, all of that. You're Pam Anderson, sure, but now you're my wife. Like, you're just my wife to me. I don't really care about that Pam Anderson shit no more. It's why I liked you. It's why I got with you, yeah. And the look is probably what's keeping me around, but I don't care. Like, you need to be here for me. Your life is about me. I'm your husband. But now she got these 2 kids she got to take care of. Tommy, according to her, is in the house. The kid is crying. The new baby is crying. She holding the newest baby, the other one on her leg, like, mommy. And Tommy is on the ground having a breakdown. He's screaming, I just want my wife back. I want my wife back. It's too much. Like, that was not shocking to me. That may be shocking to some people, but I really have I had to say like a low opinion of men. I don't really know any strong men. Every single man that I know, come in contact with, from my great grandpa on down to the boys I would meet and date and be around or whatever, grow up around in high school and college and whatever. Men are not emotionally strong. They're not taught to be. I think mothers put a lot of emphasis on making their daughters strong and making their daughters capable, and you have to do this and you have to do that. But the boys just kind of float through life, and they're kind of taught to just feign strength and feign masculinity and all the things that come with that. So when real situations happen, they don't know what to do. They cave. And that's what Tommy is doing. He's caving. And Pam, on the other side, doesn't understand, because she's like, you're like this rough, gruff alpha male. How are we in this situation now? And you're reverted to the child state. Like, what's going on now? I got 3 kids in here and I can't baby you and baby them at the same time. And they need me. They need us to be alive, to survive. You need to quit your temper tantrum and get up, like, help out, make one of these kids stop crying, put one to sleep. Then maybe I can get to you, you know? But he's not thinking that. In his man-child state, which a lot of men live in, that's just who they are. And it don't come out all the time until the tough what do the people say, when the tough gets going or whatever, until the tough times hit. That's when you see that weakness in a man. It just hops out quick, unable to handle it. So he allegedly kicks her, pushes her or something. I don't feel like she was telling the whole story. She didn't want to make him look bad to her kids because she still loves him. We're gonna get to that. But whatever it was so bad that, you know, she called them people and she get out of there, and then she's going for a divorce. And she's like, irreconcilable differences, the police report saying she had a scar on her back, all of this. I guess she could have dropped her baby and something could have happened to her baby, which is devastating. So that's really what pushed her over the edge. Like, oh, I gotta leave. I don't feel like she wanted to leave at all, but she just felt like she needs to put her foot down, given what she's seen growing up and probably the other things that she's seen of Tommy. She had to get out of there. One of her ex-boyfriends, allegedly in 2018, said, I picked her up many times from her lawyer's office and flew her up with her kids and hid out in Aspen for a month because the guy was beating her up. But she made it through. She raised the kids. She's got money. She's got a career. I feel like people kind of gloss over that, especially if you got a little bit of money, because from what I've seen in this documentary, it's not like Pamela Anderson is living filthy rich, especially given her status in like pop culture and all that. Not living according to that at all. So it's like, oh, she got money, like she's fine, like her kids are grown. Okay, I was still in there allegedly getting my ass beat according to you. I still had to get a divorce of my 2 young children of a man that I loved and like break up my family, and that's not what I wanted. I still had to go through all of this shame and like guilt and just dragging publicly. Oh, but she got money. Like, please stop it. Okay, people are still people. Money helps. Sure, money can insulate you from certain things. But when it comes to the public and ridicule and all this, like, money can only do so much. Even if you go on vacation, you get on the internet, you can look on your phone, and people are still talking about you. It's still about you. You come home, you're going to see your face on the magazine covers. Your business is out. Money can only do so much. And sometimes money is kryptonite to a person going through things, because it gives them all the access that they need to destroy themselves with substance abuse, overindulging, partying, whatever it is. So like, don't think that money is just the cover all for everything. Money does check a lot of boxes, but in certain situations, money ain't going to do it. Tommy. It is sad because like throughout the documentary, and she dated a bunch of other people, like they broke up. He did not even want to get divorced. He was very adamantly against it. He went to jail. He got 6 months in jail. She would not comment when they asked her, like, do you think he deserves 6 months? She just kept walking. I think a lot of the stuff that she didn't say, she didn't express herself a lot, and probably still to this day because of her children and because of her love for Tommy, because she's still right now currently, in my opinion, based on what we've seen in the documentary, based on what she said, in love with Tommy Lee. But anyways, he didn't want to get divorced. He really fought hard for his family in that regard. He was on TV and stuff saying, you know, I miss my family, I miss my wife, blah, blah, blah. And he did not sign the divorce papers ever. She had to just go about it without that. After her divorce from Tommy, she ends up dating Kelly Slater from Baywatch. And he's like, I don't have any ill feelings towards her. I wish her the best. We had an amazing time together. I learned a lot. And I want to know, like, maybe what he meant by that. I don't want to say that it's shade, but it seemed a little shady. You know, like, if somebody asks you how your relationship was with somebody, you're like, I learned a lot. That seems shady to me, especially coming from a man. She dated Kid Rock in 2001, and then they got engaged and they broke up. Like, her and Kid Rock never even stayed together for a year. Her and Kid Rock, they break up, they end up getting married again like a couple years later, and they break up again. Like, it was deep. She said, oh, Bob was nice, he was always good to the boys, but it was like she was looking for that firework love that she had with Tommy. And again, I feel like a lot of her opinions and stuff like that were kind of immature, because especially when she have children and all of that, but I think even before, like, women have to be more wise. Firework, butterflies in the stomach, crazy in love, like, that's not sustainable. And that's why y'all break up all the time, every single time you got together, because the same passion that draws you to each other is the same passion that drives you apart. And somebody that's good and neutral and calm and that just loves you and accepts you for who you are and is going to be there for you and taking care of your children, all that as well, is years better, light years better than somebody that just sets you on fire and has all this passion, all that. It's, come on, ladies, I need you to be serious. I need you to be the adult in the room. In 2005, her and Tommy Lee get back together. They want their family back, but it just don't work out. It's very sad. I also want to know, what is making her marry all these people? You know, like, you could just have a boyfriend, you could just see where it goes, but what is her obsession? I think she's really, really obsessed and loves the idea of love and has this, like, perfect image in her mind of how things should go and should feel and all of that. And it's like, you don't really have a lot of historical data to be basing this on, ma'am. It's kind of just projections and idealism and fantasy, but you're basing a lot of your life on those things, and that's why you're getting these results. And it's just, I don't know, it's sad. I feel like Kid Rock probably could have been that person. But then, the real reason why they broke up, and I don't know if this is true, this is alleged, this is from E! News. Pam was in Borat. I love the movie Borat. The first one, I think it was so funny. And remember, Borat was trying to kidnap her to be his bride, because that's how they do it in Kazakhstan. And they go to the premiere, and Kid Rock is so embarrassed. He's like, you're humiliating yourself, you're nothing but a whore, you're a slut, how could you do that movie? Oh my God. Like, bro, you know that this girl's job is to be a sex kid and be funny and play dumb and be blonde and live up to all those stereotypes. Why are you here acting confused about the same reasons why you like me? That don't make no sense. It's a movie, it's acting. But also, they did talk about it in great length that Tommy was super jealous, especially after that sex tape hit, boy. He was jealous like the police. He was coming to her job every day, Baywatch, watching. Always in her camera line, always in her line of sight. Like a pimp, like a parent, kind of like, what you doing out there? Like, you better not, you better. I wish you would. And if she had a kissing scene or something like that, he would freak out. He would fuck up the set. He would go crazy. To the point where the people on the set, actors, workers, everybody is in unison. Like, oh, Tommy's here, like, be on code. Like, they're going to switch around the dialogue and the script and all of that because he's on set. That is sad. Why didn't y'all ban this man? Why didn't y'all stick up for Pamela Anderson in any kind of way? Like, your husband can't come here. We get it. He's in love, y'all in love, all right, inseparable, twin, and we get it. He can't come here. This is a place of business. Where was that energy? Y'all just left her in his, like, little web, little trap, I don't know. And it's like, he's Tommy Lee, he's not no movie producer. Are you scared of him? All he's doing here is vandalism. Get some police. That disturbed me a lot. I feel like they just, nobody protected her. Nobody held it down for her. The whole time with the Borat situation, she's like, it's a joke. I didn't even think he would take it that seriously. Sacha Baron Cohen is even like, he talked to her after the fact and asked her like, oh, how'd it go or whatever. She's like, he's getting divorced because he shouldn't have did that. Then she ends up with Rick Solomon. Now they're talking about this in the documentary and my mind is just annoyed because I'm like, who is Rick Solomon? Why have I heard this name before? Is this the man from Girls Gone Wild? Who is this man? This man is the infamous co-star from Paris Hilton's A Night in Paris sex tape. Why would you be with Rick Solomon? I guess he's a professional poker player and allegedly he was a bad drug addict on their first go round in marriage. But I'm like, girl, you have atrocious taste in men. Like, you are going from bad to worse. You are going from probation to the prison. What's going on, Pam? Where are your homegirls at? That was, oh my God. And she's like, he was just always there. You're always here. Like, duh, Pam, you're hot. Then she get back with Tommy Lee in 2008. They stayed together until 2010 when they broke up for good. I feel like they still love each other. Oh, also a fun fact, random, I missed this one. She dated Mario Van Peebles, which is interesting, right? Like, you date a black man too? But it was like she was kind of cheating and scamming. Maybe Mario Van Peebles was too mature for her because she was reading her diary and she was like, oh, woke up at Mario's house, getting dressed, preparing for his birthday. Oh, I'm about to go to Scott's house, whatever. And she was like embarrassed in that moment. Like, oh, it's sad when you read your diary, you find out what a whore you were. Pam, you was young, you was getting it, you was popping it. There's nothing to be ashamed of. You did what you did. Okay? Be lucky there was no social media back then, so we could not document every single step of it. It was just paparazzi, so you can kind of bob and weave a little bit. But be grateful there was no social media, because you would have been toast. She says, in 2015, there was Tommy and there was nobody else. He was the love of my life. We had a wild, crazy beginning that was too much for both of us. It really was love at first sight. Her kids are grateful to be born out of true love. And everything else she was just trying to piece together. I feel like, and then she ends up getting with Rick Solomon again. And it's like, girl, let it go. Let it go. She says in the documentary too, that she just feels like there will never be someone that she can love like her children's father. And if it's not going to be Tommy, it's not going to be nobody. And she's filling her time with these randoms. She's dating them. She's marrying him. She even married her contractor randomly during COVID. So it's just, yeah, my girl loves love and she's doing her best. I want to know why you can't make it work with Tommy Lee. Because y'all both older now. You're both wiser. You've been with other people. You've been in other relationships. What is it about you two when you are together in close quarters that you cannot make something shake? Because it seems like you're really, really desperate for that love. You don't want to be with anybody else. You said it out of your own mouth. And then I think I saw you on the Drew Barrymore show talking about it too. And Drew kind of agreed with you. Like, yeah, it just is what it is. Like, you love your baby daddy. You're not going to be with nobody. Like, ma'am, go and make it work with him. Go to therapy. Figure something out. But why are you going to live the rest of your life unhappy going through this marriage carousel with all of these people when you already know where you want to be? And if you love this person that much and you're that like enthralled by them, obsessed with them, maybe it's some things you got to change about yourself. And maybe some things you got to accept about him if it's that deep to you. But for you to just live in this eternal unhappiness and then dragging other people into it under the guise of you loving them for, 48 hours, that's kind of sad. And it's kind of mean almost. Like, I don't understand that. She has a hard time even watching Tommy on tape. And you can tell that was one of the first things that stood out to me before she even started talking and getting deep about it, was like they're going through all of these archives and videos, because during the course of her moving to Los Angeles and being famous and all of that, she was sending all her stuff back home all the time, like all her tapes, all her diaries, whatever accolades, because she thought, oh, one day she'll go through all this and come home. So now she's doing that because she's basically locked up in her parents' house during COVID. And they have all of these really, really beautiful memories. They had this gorgeous, like Spanish style, Mediterranean style house. And she surprises him for his birthday with all of these balloons. And he's so happy. And you can tell even how they're talking to each other and stuff on the videos, and on that they're so in love. And they're just so attracted to each other and all of that. But just somewhere it goes left. And she is in her 50s now, just still not over that relationship, and like she'll never be. I think I'd rather be alone than not be with the father of my kids, but I can't be with Tommy either. It's almost like a punishment. I really want to know why you can't be with Tommy, and I feel like you need to investigate that. Y'all need to investigate that as a group, because he might feel the same way about you. If he doesn't, then you just got to let it go. You got to go to therapy. You got to go to some type of spiritual cleanse and get that up off you. But I feel like y'all can make it work, because he was getting back with you all the time too. So it's a mutual thing. Then she's like, they got in a really good place. You know, the kids are grown, whatever. They don't really got to do the co-parenting stuff. Oh, she also talks about how when the kids were younger and they were trying to co-parent, and she was with all of these, you know, relationships, her little husband, game show, that Tommy never liked anybody that she was with, because he still loved you and he was jealous. So she's like, it never really even gave room for them to become friends or build a friendship. It was always just that jealous ex-lover situation, which is probably kind of attractive too, in a way, when you like toxic love and toxic situations. So Tommy low-key is sabotaging all your relationships, and then you are sabotaging them too from the inside. But y'all can't be together. That's deep. But she's like, okay, we were all just moving on, living with our lives, doing the best we could. And then this Pam and Tommy Hulu show comes out, and it takes her back under. And she said she texted Tommy immediately, and he said, just don't let it hurt you as much as it did the first time. And that was so deep too. Like, even other people talking about your past is gonna bother you. Like, Pam, everybody that knows about you knows about the sex tape. That just is what it is. No person. It's probably a fraction of a person out of 10 that don't know about it when it comes to you. So the fact that somebody even talking about it, it's not like they were showing the tape again. Sure, maybe people resurgence might have came on Pornhub. Maybe people were looking it up. But nobody, this is not new information to people, Pam. Why did the show hurt you so much? I feel like it only hurt your feelings because you still love Tommy. And having to see these two actors play out y'all's love on screen was disturbing to you. And then your son is calling you, like giving you the play-by-play. Of course, it's not all 100% accurate. They're going to make some things salacious. They're going to point certain things a different way because, viewers, ratings. And that's bothering you too. It's fake. Come out and say something. You could have went on a little press tour. You did this documentary, which is cool. And like she said, when she was talking about it, it was very hard for her. But she's like, it's good to just get it out in your own words at least once because everybody else is talking about it. You should have been did that. Like, why did you never jump on the reality TV train, even for a little while, even for like one season, just to dispel this sort of thing, to get into your bag, maybe be in acting classes on the show, try to take a serious role, a Precious Monique type of role, Aaron Brockovich, to just get yourself out of that funk. You didn't do that. You was just sexy and sad and marrying niggas. It didn't make no sense, Pam, how you went about this. I don't want to, this is not judgment. This is all coming from a place of love, concern, and just like, I grew up with you on TV. Like, you were that bitch. How did you let this just break you down like this? And then it became a trend right after you. Paris does hers. Kim does hers. It becomes a thing. So why are you still ashamed about it? Why are you still feeling a certain way? It's because you had a different idea about yourself than the public had about you, and you conflated the two, and it started to bother you. That's what it was. Because you were kind of living in that caricature of Pamela Anderson, Charo, hee 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 ha ha, boobs, blonde. And then when they kind of bitch you on that, because America, we've seen this time and time again. America loves to build people up only to see them fall and just rag on them, pile on them. So when that happened to you, you couldn't handle it. You couldn't go out and be like, okay, sex tape with my husband, like I'm married. It's not like I'm a slut. Like, they stole that from my house. I don't care. I didn't take any money from it. Maybe I should have. Like, I don't care. And then how you were talking about it too, like, oh, it's pathetic. It's pathetic. Sure, it's pathetic. But how you acted about it was more pathetic, because you were already in a situation where you were a victim, and you did not try to be triumphant about it at all. You did not try to, like, clap back with these people at all. And when you did it, it was like way too late. It was way after the fact, when you kind of had fallen off. Like, she comes back and she's like, oh, I wanted to work with PETA because if people were going to just ask me about my boobs and talk about my body, I want it to be for a purpose. Pam, you should have got on these people's case. But again, you had no wise counsel. I doubt you have any black friends. Somebody needs to get in there and give you some tough love and be like, Pam, look, they already saw everything. You already naked everywhere. Why are you afraid to say anything? You should be on TV saying whatever you want to say anytime. You should be going out for acting auditions all the time. What are they going to do? Just tell you no? You could be the hot mom in a sitcom. You could be, whatever role they're going to throw at you, sex kitten or not. I don't care. Why weren't you in that Showgirls movie? MTV reality show. Like, there was so many opportunities that you could have taken to slap these people back in their face and make America fall in love with you all over again and feel sorry for you and take your side. You didn't do that. Y'all needed Olivia Pope. You needed a black lady in your corner and you didn't have one. Sad. So then the Hulu show comes out. Pam's son decides, because he's more business minded, look, we about to come up too. Everybody not just gonna come up off your story forever and you sitting here crying, depressed, moping around the house, marrying a new person because your feelings are hurt. We're about to get this back. So he put together his documentary and the press tour, and I congratulate him for that. Brandon and Dylan, y'all are the real MVPs of this story. And I'm sorry y'all had to go through this when you were children, see your mom naked, all that. I'm sure it was harsh. I'm sure it was dramatic. Dylan was saying who's putting hands and feet on people. I agree, Dylan. Let them know. Don't talk about my mama. Okay, my mom was married. She was a married lady. You mind your business. Your mom's a hoe. Your mom's a slut. Who's your mama? Where's your daddy at? You don't even know. Relax. Y'all need to be a little bit more tough about it. But like I said, there were no black people around. There were no black mothers, black fathers to help y'all through this. So during the Pam, I feel like right now she's just now coming to grips with everything and sort of trying to reload. And she gets cast as Roxy in Chicago. Right when she was about to give up her life and just live in British Columbia in a cottage, I don't know, in knit. She gets cast as Roxy. She kills it. All right. I didn't even know that Pam Anderson could sing or like do a little 1-2 step, but she really did. She put her all into it. She did a great job from all the clips that I saw. I even looked outside the documentary just to make sure it was not presenting a biased approach. She had rave reviews. I'm sure the bar was on the floor. Nobody thought that she could do it, but she did. And she did incredible. So it's like, what else are you going to do? What more can we see, Pam? Give us something. Especially now in the time where like everybody has a line of this, lingerie, blah, 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 classes. Pam, you could be giving like sex kitten tutorials. You can be getting these new white girl influencers together. You could have a line of pasties. You could have a line of lingerie. You could have, how to not get married a bunch of times, like how to love and still love yourself classes. Pam, you could be doing seminars. You could really do anything. I just do not like this broken-hearted girl approach that you were taking to life. It makes me sad. And that's what really made me want to talk about this documentary, because like that just burns me up. Okay, you can't be with Tommy Lee. Tough. That don't mean you got to just keep on trying to look and find love. And she said Smokey Robinson used to see her at the Playboy Mansion. He would tell her, you're a champion, because people give up, people get bitter, and you just keep on going. You love, like keep on trying. Sure, but you can tell that it's being detrimental to her as well, because she cannot have the person she wants to be with. So I want her to channel that energy into somewhere more productive. Pam, give us some products. Do something. Reality show. Another documentary. Become a producer of content. You can make a movie about your life like they did that Pam and Tommy. I'm sure Netflix, Hulu, Apple TV got a little check for you if you want to do a story about your life from your perspective. Why would you not do that, Pam? Do a Playboy movie, a Playboy show about what was really going on there from the girl's perspective, because everything that's out so far is from Hef's perspective, or it's very negative. You can give us your side. You can have a podcast. The girls from the You Having a Girlfriend show, the Girls Next Door, they all got things going on, Pam. And none of them has your status. So come on. This is my plea. Somebody tag her. Somebody send it. Pam, what's going on? You need a black homegirl desperately to help you out, because I feel like you were in a funk that like a Young Miami, a Santana, somebody could just pull you right out of. Like, what do you mean you're in here? Bitch, you're Pamela Anderson. Like, get up. Where the glitter boots at? Let's go outside. Let's get turned. That is my synopsis of the documentary. It was very, very heartbreaking to see. I don't know if Tommy Lee saw this, but he probably did. And that would embarrass me so deeply. If somebody that I'm like in love with and I'm pine over, like my baby daddy, that's why I can never have a baby daddy. But if that situation, like let's say my mom is just going through it, talking about her life. My mom is a player. My dad, let's say my dad is going through it, talking about his life. Oh, I messed up my family. I did this. I did that. Your mom is the love of my life. I always just want to be with her. I'm out here looking for love in all these places. I'm never finding anybody like her. And then my mom seen that. I would be mortified if I was my dad. Like, oh my God. Her and her homegirls are probably laughing at me. They probably got a group chat. Who knows? But maybe this will bring them closer together. I don't know. Again, let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments. If you watch the documentary, you have a different perspective, let's talk about it. This is really just to open up a conversation about this, because Pamela Anderson was just that girl, such a huge icon when I was a kid growing up. So to see her just down bad, it breaks my heart, truly. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about this whole thing, my commentary, and please, as always, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you so much for watching. See y'all next time. Bye. Oh, let me know some documentaries, some stuff you want me to review, because I watch stuff all the time. I'm going to start posting more of these voiceover reviews. Again, thank you. Have a great day.